Cyberpunk 2077 has sold over 13 million copies of the game. And now ordinarily you would think that that would be fantastic news. But this is CD Projekt Red that we're talking about, and they can't seem to get good news. So let's skip over to this other article over here that dropped the same day as that news. And it reads here, Cyberpunk fails to deliver again as game sales disappoint. CD Projekt said in a regulatory filing on Tuesday, analysts surveyed by PAP Newswire had estimated the game would sell 16.4 million copies by December 24th. Not 13 million. CD Projekt SA's lower than expected sales figures of its troubled Cyberpunk 2077 game disappointed analysts and prompted concern about the timing of future releases. And this does make sense. Investors are investing into a company for growth. They want to see the company grow. They want to see the company do well. And part of doing that is you need to be honest with your investors. If you're lying to your investors, if they find that out, they're going to pull out. They're going to sue. You can't lie to your investor. Not only are these investors furious because CD Projekt Red lied about the condition of the game, also what these investors have to look out for is what's going to go on in the future. And what it looks like CD Projekt future is going to be is everything is going to be delayed. Because Cyberpunk 2077 released in such a poor state, they now have to do damage control. They now have to focus on getting these patches rolled out, and they're going to be focusing way more on that. And now they're going to be behind the ball when it comes to, for example, story expansion for Cyberpunk 2077, future DLCs coming to Cyberpunk 2077, and the multiplayer option where they now have to spend all their time focusing on the base game. And last but not least, future games. Which brings me to this last article here. CD Projekt Red is in fact getting sued. New York-based Rosen law firm has filed a class action lawsuit against Cyberpunk 2077's publisher, CD Projekt SA, due to its alleged violation of federal securities laws. Rosen law firm is filing the class action lawsuit on behalf of purchasers of the securities of CD Projekt SA between January 16th, 2020 and December 17th, 2020, and is seeking to recover damages for CD Projekt investors under the federal securities laws. The lawsuit claims that CD Projekt has made false and/or misleading statements and/or failed to disclose that Cyberpunk 2077 was virtually unplayable on the current generation Xbox or PlayStation systems due to an enormous number of bugs. The lawsuit also claims that as a result of all this, CD Projekt would suffer reputational and pecuniary harm, and that its statements about its business operations and prospects were materially false and misleading and/or lacked a reasonable basis at all relevant times. Basically, what this boils down to is investors are pulling out because of lies and because the game was just in an awful condition. They're worried about the future of the company as a whole, and they don't trust them anymore because of these lies. Once you start lying to investors, why would future investors invest in your company? One detail I missed as well is that CD Projekt Red lost $1 billion in the release of Cyberpunk 2077, and also people are still being guaranteed refunds for this game through Sony, and I think GameStop is following. I'm not too sure about that. I heard about that somewhere, but I know Microsoft is as well. They're also doing refunds. And then also we already know the fact that Sony pulled the game entirely from the PSN store, which is bound to hurt a little bit. In Warsaw, Poland, where CD Projekt Red is actually located, there's a law firm over there that also is contemplating a lawsuit. And I'm pretty sure now that this company here that we just discussed is actually suing CD Projekt Red. You're going to see CD Projekt Red get sued left and right through other law firms as well. I don't even know what to say. It's crazy how there was such a huge anticipation for this game, and as quickly as it released, it was just a quick rise and a quick fall. And then we got to discover that the company itself is basically very greedy, and they're not really that great. And if you want to hear more about that, you can check this video out about GOG.com and a game called Devotion. Honestly, I don't know what the future holds for CD Projekt Red. I don't know if they're really going to be able to reobtain the trust that they lost from the gaming community. I just hope that many lessons were learned, many lessons were learned in the release of Cyberpunk 2077, like being honest with the platform you're going to sell your game on, Sony for one, being honest with the general public, the people who are going to be purchasing your game and playing it when it's released, and being honest with your investors, the people who are backing your game before, during, and after release. For those of you that are still playing and enjoying Cyberpunk 2077, that's awesome, and I really hope you're enjoying the shit out of that game, and I hope that as long as you stick with it, CD Projekt Red continues to put out these patches and fix the game that they have released. But man, are they in trouble. Man, am I worried about the future of this company. But the only thing they need to be focusing on right now is fixing the game that they released that was very broken. I do want to make it very clear that based off what I've heard, Cyberpunk 2077 is a very good game, just it's behind a veil of bugs and glitches that break the immersion constantly, and that's the problem. It released in an absolutely unacceptable state, and that does need to be brought to their attention if we don't want these things to keep happening to our games. But two things need to change for sure, and that's one, we do need to stop hyping up games as much as we do before the game comes out, and two, we have to stop pre-ordering, because once you give them your money, they now have no incentive to do right by you, to make sure the game is in a good condition. They already got your money. I personally am not returning the game, or at least I haven't returned the game yet, but I'm also not playing it either. Basically, what I'm hoping for is CD Projekt Red continues to roll out patches, and the game is in a better condition, like, 3-6 months or a year from now, and hopefully I'm able to enjoy the game the way it was intended to be played. And I don't want to wait, and I'm not upset at anybody who decides, like, hey, I don't want to wait that long. I don't want to wait for them to roll out patches. They should have released the game in a better condition, therefore I want to do a return. That's fine, I totally get it. But I also understand those who haven't returned the game or don't want to and are holding out hope that they will patch the game and it will be in a way better condition down the line. Not something we should have to do at all. We really shouldn't be having to purchase a game on release and then wait however many months for them to get the game in a better condition for us to actually play through it. But at the moment, it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you all. Take care.